Imagine buying a car. That turns into a time bomb the moment someone hits you from behind. A car sold as the dream of every American family. But in reality, it became a moving coffin. This is the terrifying story of the Ford Pinto, the car that looked normal on the outside, but inside it carried a deadly secret. Every crash meant fire. Every accident meant death. And here's the shocking part. Ford already knew about it, but they still sold it. Why? Let's uncover the dark truth. In the early 1970s, America faced a challenge. Families wanted a car that was small, affordable, and modern, something to compete with Japanese imports. Ford saw this as the perfect opportunity. They promised the public a stylish car that anyone could buy, and in 1971 the Ford Pinto was launched. With a price tag of just $2,000, it was marketed as the people's car. For many middle-class Americans, it felt like a dream come true. But behind that dream was a design rushed into production so fast it carried the seed of tragedy. The Ford Pinto was designed in record time, only 25 months, while a typical car took over 40 months. This rushed timeline led to a critical design flaw. The fuel tank was dangerously positioned at the rear, making even a minor rear-end collision potentially deadly. Engineers at Ford had already identified the risk before the car hit the market. A small crash could rupture the tank, causing fuel to spill and ignite instantly. Despite knowing this, the company pressed forward with mass production. What was supposed to be a revolutionary car was quietly transformed into a high-speed death trap. Soon after the Pinto hit the streets, reports of horrifying accidents started emerging. Even minor rear-end collisions triggered sudden fires, engulfing the car in flames within seconds. Eyewitnesses described scenes straight out of nightmares. One moment the car was fine, the next it was a ball of fire. Dozens of drivers and passengers lost their lives. At first, people assumed it was bad luck, but the pattern was undeniable. Each fire revealed a chilling truth. The Pinto wasn't just prone to accidents. It was a deadly machine designed to fail under the smallest impact. Ford knew about the fuel tank flaw long before the Pinto hit the streets. Internal documents revealed a shocking truth. A simple $11 shield could have prevented the fires. Yet, the company calculated that paying off potential lawsuits would cost less than fixing every car. In other words, human lives were treated as numbers on a spreadsheet. The decision was chilling. Sell the car, let accidents happen, and settle claims quietly. Families would grieve, victims would burn, and the Pinto would continue rolling through American streets, a silent killer that Ford had knowingly unleashed. As news of Pinto accidents spread, America erupted in shock and anger. Headlines screamed, "The car that kills its passengers." Survivors' families filed lawsuits, demanding justice for the lives lost. Investigations revealed Ford's internal calculations, showing the company had knowingly prioritized profit over safety. Public protests and media scrutiny intensified. Ford faced a storm of criticism as trust in the company crumbled. The Pinto was no longer just a car. It had become a symbol of corporate greed and negligence. Americans demanded answers. How could a company knowingly sell such a deadly vehicle? In 1978, a horrific Pinto crash claimed 3 young lives, sparking one of the first criminal trials against a car company. Ford faced manslaughter charges, a landmark moment in automotive history. Court documents revealed the company's cold calculation. Deaths were considered cheaper than safety fixes. The trial shocked the nation, raising questions about corporate responsibility and ethics. Although Ford used its legal power to minimize consequences, the public's outrage could not be ignored. The Pinto case became a wake-up call for regulators and consumers alike, forever cementing its legacy as one of the most infamous cars ever sold. After mounting public pressure and relentless media coverage, Ford finally issued a recall in 1978. Millions of Pintos were brought back for minor modifications, but by then, the damage was done. Thousands of lives had already been lost to a car that should never have been sold in its dangerous state. The Pinto became a cautionary tale of corporate negligence and greed. It wasn't just a recall. It was a bitter acknowledgement of failure. Even after modifications, the shadow of its deadly reputation lingered. The car had burned its mark into history, a haunting reminder of profit over people. After mounting public pressure and relentless media coverage, Ford finally issued a recall in 1978. Millions of Pintos were brought back for minor modifications, but by then, the damage was done. Thousands of lives had already been lost to a car that should never have been sold in its dangerous state. The Pinto became a cautionary tale of corporate negligence and greed. It wasn't just a recall, it was a bitter acknowledgement of failure. Even after modifications, the shadow of its deadly reputation lingered. The car had burned its mark into history, a haunting reminder of profit over people. The Ford Pinto's story is more than just a car. It's a dark lesson in greed, negligence, and consequences. A machine meant to carry dreams instead carried tragedy. Every time you see a classic car or hear about a corporate scandal, remember the Pinto. It reminds us that profit at the cost of human life is never justified. If you want to uncover more shocking automotive secrets, subscribe to Engine Archives. Comment below which mysterious car story you want us to reveal next. The road to history is full of hidden dangers, and are you ready to explore them?